It was recently Golden Week here in Japan, and this year I really didn't want to travel far due to the ridiculously inflated hotel prices, transportation headaches, and crowds of foreign and domestic tourists alike. So, I was searching around for some kind of day trip from my home in Nagoya and came across something interesting. It appears there is an octopus island not too far from here. I did a bit of research, and the day trip was on. The island's name is Himakajima, and it's easily accessible by train and a short ferry ride. More on this later. It's quite small, only about 4 kilometers to walk around the whole island. For all you feudal Japan lovers, it's also the birthplace of one of the famed 47 Ronin. The 47 Ronin were masterless samurai heroes who took part in a vendetta against Lord Kira Kozuke no Suke, the shogun's master of protocol, for his part in having caused the death of their master in 1701. It's been immortalized in film and Japanese storytelling, and almost every Japanese person knows the story. What else is this island famous for? The waters surrounding it are teeming with octopus, or octopi, or whatever. The island is also dotted with hundreds of octopus figures, characters, objects, souvenirs, and of course the real thing too. All manner of raw, cooked, and dried octopus is the island's specialty. It's also apparently best known for its whole boiled octopus, but I didn't see any of these on my trip. If you're lucky and it's the right season, you might even be able to see one of the stranger sights in Japan, dried octopus stretched out on bamboo stakes like kites. Incidentally, the Japanese word for kite and octopus is the same, tako. But the island is also very famous for another delicacy, fugu, or blowfish. Now, most people in Japan would consider Shimonoseki, or possibly even Fukui Prefecture on the Japan seacoast, to be the most famous place for these fish in Japan. But actually, the most fugu in the country is caught off the waters of Aichi, and one of the best places to enjoy the firm white fish meat is Himakajima. Admittedly, a few people across the nation die each year from eating the highly toxic fish, and so all fugu is prepared by fully trained, specially licensed chefs. The clean, calm waters of the island are great for swimming and marine sports in summer. A small marine land with local petting and performing dolphins can be found, as well as the popular Sunrise Beach on the east side and the Sunset Beach on the west side of the island. As mentioned before, a walk around the island is about 4 kilometers, and everywhere you look there are octopus-themed signs, characters, and figures. Even the local police station is designed to resemble an octopus. The souvenir stands have various octopus-themed items, including toys, key tags, senbei rice crackers, and sweets. So, now on to my trip. First, we purchased a special day package that included our transportation by train and ferry, as well as a special lunch on the island. This is the one-day pass from the Meitetsu Transportation Company, which you could use for even more than just this trip if you have the energy. The total package deal was about 7,000 yen per person, but I like getting reserved seats on the train, so I paid an extra 500 yen for that. After about an hour-long train ride, we found ourselves lining up for the ferry to the island. The ship has many comfortable seats inside, but I scrambled to get a seat on the top deck for the best views. As you can see, it gets crowded pretty quickly, so try to get there early to be at the front of the line if you want these seats. finally we were off. The ferry slowly pulled out of the harbor. And we gradually left the mainland. Once we were out of the harbor, the ship picked up speed and we were off to the island. The view was quite scenic along the way, and we were lucky enough to spot some dolphins as well. But they were always too fast to capture on camera, so sorry about that. After about a 20-minute ride, we approached one of Himakajima's ports. Lots of people fishing all over this island, and some people come exactly for that reason. You can rent fishing equipment on the island if you're interested. The ferry docked and we unboarded. We arrived around noon, and there were already a lot of early goers lining up to catch the ferry back. We could immediately see one of the island's famous beaches, though it was too early in the season in Japan for locals to swim. There is a rest station immediately upon exiting the docks with a map of the island and things to do. And a warning about jellyfish, so be careful if you go in the water. We arrived at the main road that goes around the island. This section is filled with shops, restaurants, and more. One restaurant already had a long lineup, but we didn't care about that because as part of our package we had a lunch reservation. We went to one of the seaward-facing onsen, or hot spring hotels, called Suzuya. It looks like a typical hot spring hotel in Japan, and headed up to a special room for lunch. It was a typical onsen hotel meal room with tatami mats. Luckily, this one had table and chairs as well. And our special octopus lunch was served. This one had 5 different octopus dishes, some sashimi, some vegetables, and some boiled shrimp. It also came with some tako meshi, which is octopus cooked with rice. The star of the meal was tako shabu shabu. You wait until this small pot's liquid is hot, and then you briefly cook raw octopus slices in it. This was perhaps the best dish of the meal. You also can make tako ochazuke. You take some of your tako rice, put it in a bowl, add some sesame seeds and wasabi. Pour green tea over it. This was also delicious. The meal was great, but what to do next? We were in a hot spring hotel, So what's better than enjoying their hot springs as well? We went up to the top floor of the hotel and entered the small hot springs, which are divided into male and female facilities. There's a small change room where you can keep your clothes. And I was lucky to find an empty onsen with a spectacular view. There were both indoor and outdoor baths, and from the outdoor bath you could get a really nice view of the area. Alright, the onsen was finished, we're super relaxed and ready to take a look around the island. You have several different options for traveling around. Electric scooters or kickboards in Japanese were popular to rent. As were rental bicycles. But we chose to walk. A lot of the island has a nice seaside walkway with some great ocean views. The ocean here is much nicer than in Nagoya near my house. I also came across several mysterious stairs that end up in the ocean? No idea what was happening there, but there were quite a few of them. Anyone have any ideas? I also came across this cool thing by accident. Watch when the larger waves hit the wall. The water was different on different sides of the island. Here in the harbor we could see lots of little fish. And this guy who wasn't as lucky. Naturally, it's starting into the summer season, so jellyfish can be found as well. On our way to our destination port, we came across the only traffic signal on the island. And it's not really used to direct traffic, but to train children that live on the island how to use them so they're prepared for the real world. Finally, it was time to go home, so we found our docking area, which was different than our arrival spot. The boat arrived, and lots of fishermen boarded before we could get on. We left the harbor with a lot of people still fishing. And headed for home. So, if you're spending some time in Aichi Prefecture, consider checking this island out. It was a lot of fun. Well, as always, thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as push that notification bell to never miss more tidbits from Japan.